Okay, we're live and on the air. It's about 6 minutes until the hour, 1:54 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And I'm starting early because I wanted to check the protocols I have established to deflate and defeat trolls. So uh,
Hello?
hey, how's it going?
Not good.
Oh gosh, what's going on?
Well, there's been some drama this week. I've been removed from a lot of online groups
That's too bad.
because
We've had
Go on.
Well, we've had some drama on this side of the pond as well.
How?
So, well, with trolls and just some basic sniping within within some of the groups that I'm a part of or whatever. So, but
sniping.
yeah, cheap shots. I've been told to F off, and that I'm stupid.
Not good.
Well, I may be stupid, but I don't like being called stupid.
No, I don't. I don't
So
agree with
anyway, I've just the people that are not for me, that don't want to be on my team, they don't have to be on my team anymore. So I've taken some measures to go ahead and just make it official. You're not on my team anymore or whatever. So I don't know how this hangout is going to go. Anastasia, I sent you another invite in case you need one. You seem to have dropped out of here. But be that as it may, we're going to proceed. I've got 2 o'clock. And
my alarm went off.
okay, well, I figured something like that had happened or whatever. So, but anyway, we'll let that be the first and only snafu, okay?
Yep.
It's 2 o'clock, so let me do a bit of housekeeping or whatever.
Yep.
I want to welcome everybody to the Fellowship of Mental Health for Friday, July 3rd, 2015. Our topic today will be freedom, because in my country tomorrow is Independence Day, where we celebrate our freedoms or whatever. And
Yep.
so in terms of housekeeping, remember we have no judgment, we don't do therapy, and we share much respect with each other. And the way we do that is we use I statements, and we're going to try to keep it PG. Now, last week, those of you who were with us, regrettably, it was a really, really rough time. So there was pornography and obscenities and racism, and I don't know.
Yeah. I had to leave last week.
Yeah, and understandably so. I would have left too if I hadn't have been the moderator. And essentially that's what we did. We shut the Hangout down, and then we reopened a private,
brand new one,
a brand new Hangout that was not public. And then I preserved the first Hangout for most of this week so that I can go back and flag. I flagged and I blocked all those people. And the neat thing was, when I moved it to private, it saved all the comments in the sidebar. So I was able, and there were like 200 of them. So I was able to go down each one and identify who had done their little nasty comment or whatever, and I flagged it and I blocked it, and then after I had done all that, I saw no need to keep the video, so I deleted it. Now I know the Google people and the YouTube people can retrieve that if they need to or whatever. So yeah, I mean it's gone, but it's not completely gone or whatever. So yeah. I went to school this week, and I've developed some protocols which are in the Hangouts themselves or whatever. And so these are some protocols. And the other thing is, I'm not going to open it. I'm not going to make the Hangout public for about 15 or 20 minutes or whatever. So yeah, I want to make sure that the protocols all are in place. Before I started today, I set the comments such that they have to be approved by me. I do this for 2 reasons. First of all, so that no one can post nasty comments. Second of all, so that nobody can inadvertently share the video, which most people have that default setting to where if they make a comment on YouTube, it automatically goes to Google Plus, and then the only thing I can do at that point is I would have to delete the video. Yeah. Because as long as you can get to it through Google Plus, it's still available to everybody. So. And the other thing you can do is you can set it to either private or public. If you set it to private, we're not live. We're just recording. Yeah. and then once it's recorded, I can reset it to public, and then it would be downloaded on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
But this time so far, I have decided to keep it public or whatever. During the Hangout, there are several things I can do. I can open or close the chat. I learned that from a buddy of mine in England who's
Yep.
also having these problems. It's not just us. It's the paranormal community.
Yep.
It's a transgender community. It's
Yep.
everybody's being attacked by these trolls. And I may do a video on these protocols or whatever to get the word out. So, like I was saying, you can open or close the chat. You can mute, eject, and block, which is what I was doing last week, and
Yep.
that's not very effective if they have multiple accounts or whatever. So, but I do know how to mute, and what you do is to block somebody.
Yep.
Well, Jamal, we're just doing some housekeeping here. You go over the little square and it says you can hide from broadcast. You can present to everybody. You can eject them or you can mute them.
Yep.
Okay, but I'm not seeing. I was told this is how you block somebody, but all I see is eject and hide from broadcast or whatever. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, those are options. Then the next thing you can do is you can go into cameraman settings, and the cameraman is actually the 1, 2, 3, 4th icon down. It's under the camera. It's a little blue icon with it has a wrench in it, and you open that up, and it says, as guests join, you can hide their audio and video from our broadcast. So I can do that. I can broadcast a large video, or the new guest can be muted when they join or whatever. So that's going to be an option that I can use. Another thing I can do is I can designate a moderator. I don't know how to do that just yet, but my buddy in England, he's a ghost watcher or whatever. So he's talking to ghosts, whatever. He doesn't have time to moderate the Hangouts. So he designates someone to be the moderator or whatever, so that he can do his thing. So that's something I need to learn about. And then we're going to wait 15 or 20 minutes before we start posting the links or whatever. And the last thing I can do is, if they do get in here and they do start to post their pornography and racism or whatever, I can jam the trolls with a screen share. When you go to the screen share, you can override everybody and just have that screen share. So that's also an option for me. So those are the things that I can do during the broadcast. And then after the broadcast, I will flag and block the trolls. I will delete the obscene comments and images, and I'm going to keep learning, because this is going to be an ongoing process. My plan for today, we will do 90 minutes live. Plans can change, but that's my plan. And then we'll do 30 minutes not live. In other words, I'll close the screen, and then we can talk amongst ourselves for 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at that point, we'll have gone on for 2 hours. At that point, I will exit the room, and who's ever left can talk amongst themselves or whatever. So
yeah.
So that's my plan. I'm going to go ahead and throw out our topic, and I welcome anybody's topic, but since it's the holiday for America, and I think people all over the world would like to have freedom, that's going to be our topic today. And the question I have specifically for our community is, do we as a community have a testimony to offer on the importance of freedom, since so many struggle with that? So, any comments on that?
Just trying to think.
Yeah, well, while you're thinking, I'll share some comments on that. I think just in watching people in our community and the mental health community in general, freedom is one thing that we cherish so much because for so many of us is very, very hard to achieve. And just by watching people's videos on in our community, whether it's the freedom to live where you want to live, that's difficult for many of us. The freedom to to go up and say hello to somebody, that's difficult for many of us. The freedom to support yourself because there's such a stigma associated with mental health disorders. I mean, so I think obviously we have a great testimony to share with the world about freedom.
I'm struggling with the freedom to post triggering stuff online because of being removed from certain groups.
Well, and that's a tough one. I don't quite know how to address that. But I know. Well, I've been banned from a couple of groups or whatever, and the way I take it is that I don't need to be there anymore, and they certainly weren't doing anything for me, and I probably wasn't doing anything for them. So I think in my case, I take it philosophically, and it's always a balancing act,
Yeah.
My freedom versus their freedom. It's always a balancing act. But if my advice would be, don't go where you're not tolerated.
Yeah.
Don't go where you're not appreciated.
Yeah.
Find your group where they appreciate you or whatever. So
Yeah.
and
there's someone who wants to come tonight to the hangout. Elizabeth Huffman spoke to me and she said she was trying to get in.
Yeah.
Can you possibly invite her?
Okay. Let me see if I can do that. Now, she's been in Joey's groups, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I will type her. Yes, Elizabeth Huffman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the invitation is on its way. Panda joined, and then Panda left. So Panda gives and Panda takes.
Yeah. Did they leave?
Yeah, but he may be back.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Oh, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil.
Speak of the
They will
devil.
appear.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a really happening place. So
Yeah.
there may be lots of stuff that Panda has to attend to in Oklahoma. Yeah. And just to share a little bit, I came across somebody named Jazz Jennings, who is a transgender.
Yeah.
Panda, I'm getting a little sound from you, so either turn down the sound, or I'll have to invoke one of the protocols. There you go, partner. No harm, no foul. But a really neat person named Jazz Jennings. She's going to have a television show. I think it's going to be on Lifetime, and I think it's going to start on July the 15th. But anyway, she's a transgender.
Yeah.
And she's also a very, very strong advocate for transgender issues. So you knew I would like it. Yes, I did. And I was in a hangout last night, and I saw where you caught the link or whatever that I had posted. So yes, I knew you would like it. And the main reason I posted that was because when I was your age, I liked to have heroes, models that I could follow, or whatever, and I think she's going to be an excellent model, not just for you, but for everybody, myself included, because I'll be the first to admit I don't know everything about everybody and transgender, so I'm still trying to wrap my head about it. I have a sister-in-law whose brother is going through the process of being of moving from being male to being female or whatever, and I think he's in his early 40s. So so I want to educate myself so that you know that I can be there for her if I'm called upon or whatever,
Yeah.
and I try to damp down my stupidity, so and try not to say uh, too many frightening things. That reminds me of a story about my grandmother, and my grandmother was a sweet Methodist lady, and but anyway, my brother moved in with somebody living together in sin, as it were, and my sweet and my grandmother used to give us $5 or $10 for her birthday or Christmas or whatever, and so it was Christmas time, and she gathered us together, and she said, should I give Richie's girlfriend $10? And we're like, yeah, she's just like part of the family or whatever. So that was my sweet grandmother, and she overcame, because obviously in her day living in sin was the evil thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But even she was able to demonstrate some growth, in her 70s. She was in her late 70s at that point or whatever. So did Elizabeth get the invitation?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I sent
She'll join when she gets it, won't she?
yeah. I mean, if she got it, if I need to resend it, I will certainly do that. I try to address this in one of my videos. It's very hard to get in touch with me during a Hangout because, like I say, I'm focused on you guys or whatever. So if someone needs to get a message to me, they're going to probably have to go through you guys or whatever. I want to check and see if anything's going on the YouTube side. Okay, Mick Blues. I've been watching for a while now. Has anyone heard of Mick Blues?
No.
No. Okay, then what I'm going to do is, I think I may post the link. Okay, Katie Allen said she'll be there soon. Now, what I did was I have a group called Mental Health Buddies or whatever, so they automatically get an invitation. That includes Joy and Jamie and all the others, so they automatically get
an invitation.
An invitation. And so what I'm going to do is, this Mick Blues, I think we'll give him a shot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to
What?
establish.
What? Did she? Alright.
You need to go?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
tell them my guide dog did good on the field.
Okay, I'm going to go to my cameraman, and I'm going to set as guest join, hide their audio and video from my broadcast. So I'm going to hit yes on that.
How come?
Well, because I'm going to let the new guy in. Okay, so as guest join, you guys are fine. I haven't done anything that affects you, so because I know all of you guys. So let me, and then I will post the link. Okay, I'm going to copy, and then we're going to paste. And see what this does is that lets Mick come in as on a probationary thing, and I can see what kind of cat he actually is.
Yeah.
So if you'll let me paste. Okay, so I have posted the link to the YouTube side, and so Mick, if you're still with us, you're going to have to refresh, and then when you refresh the YouTube page, the link should be posted in the description box. and we'll get to see how this is going to work out now. So that's a good thing for us, so we can see how this is going to work. Okay, and Panda says, if you have one on Sunday, I won't be able to go because I'm going to Arkansas with the family, and I think that, hey, I would love to go to Arkansas with your family or whatever. But that's what I'm doing too this week. I want to do one for Friday. I'm not going to do one tomorrow, and then I'll do one for Sunday evening. And we're going to talk about freedom both times. So you're not really going to miss the whole thing if you miss one of them or whatever. So, or if you want to come to both of them, you can come to both of them or whatever. So
I can't make Sundays if it's too late.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. I want to try to have. I'm thinking about going to 2 a week or whatever, and then I'm thinking about having one early and one later, so that I can accommodate people from both sides of the pond. So okay. Now, if this Mick gentleman was a troll, he won't come in because he knows he won't be able to do anything once he gets in. So, and if he's not a troll, he'll come in. So, and we still only have 4 people. Oh, he says I can listen while I'm on the road. It makes an excellent podcast. Or whatever. I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people will listen to it, as a podcast as they're driving or doing housework or what have you, whatever. Okay, so now I feel pretty lucky. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to post. Okay, I need to do something.
That was it.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the link to the Google Plus page, and then that can let people in from Google Plus. Okay.
Elizabeth just sent a message saying, "How do you join the call?"
Okay, I sent her an invitation. Well, right now what she can do is she can come into the YouTube page. And I'm trying to get a link established on the on my Google Plus page. So
I can't send her a message though, because.
Okay, well, evidently she's listening to us. So I apologize, but these are things that we're having to do now because of the trolls.
The trolls.
And I will figure out as best I can a way.
Yeah.
Of how to keep it, because I don't want the trolls to win, so I want to keep it public.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's something. It's not just me, but it's everybody. So now I have posted a link on my Google Plus page. So you may have to go out of that Google Plus page, and then
Elizabeth said call.
Call.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can call. I'll send her another invitation. I think that's the same. That's the same difference, right?
Yeah.
I hope there's not. I hope there's not more than one Elizabeth Huffman.
No, there isn't.
Okay. Okay. I sent her another invite, so I don't know. I think the invites go to your email. So
they go to your Google Plus notifications as well. If she's got the Google Plus app.
Okay. Is she? Well, if she's if she's on a phone, like you are, then
she is.
Then the direct invitation.
Oh,
welcome, Elizabeth.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm so grateful that you've been patient with us through this whole process. Now you've been a part of Joy's Hangouts, right?
Joey.
No.
Okay.
I know.
Well,
Yes, I know you, and I know System Quicken. And I know you. You're the one that I talk with the NLP and the other stuff about.
oh, okay,
I
okay.
know you, but you've never known my name. You've heard a commenter. There's somebody that's you. I know you have to remember having had conversations about NLP and other stuff, but I don't
Yeah.
think you knew with whom you were
I
speaking.
told her about you.
Oh,
And
okay.
I
Well, either
and
way,
everybody was so crowded. But I've answered you. We've had some discussions, but for a while I didn't know your name because there were so many people. Um,
okay,
I told her your name. I told her.
okay. Well,
Only good
well,
things, though.
well.
yeah.
I guess that's how we're going to have to do it now. We're going to have to vouch for each other
Right. Can I
as we
fill her
try to
in?
go. To,
Can I fill her in? Right,
yeah, go
Elizabeth,
right
we've
ahead.
had some trolls on the Hangouts. We've had some people who have said abusive stuff,
Um.
pornography and nasty words and offensive stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
basically, we've had to put some protocols in place to stop them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a big fan of NLP?
Yeah, I know some things about NLP. I'm a practicing pagan.
Cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm really, I don't know where the hell I'm at on the dissociative spectrum, but I'm familiar with the trauma and dissociative spectrum, how this works. Um, let's see.
Holy stuff, Marvin. I'm about to switch.
Go right ahead.
That's cool.
Uh,
Hello? It's Gray.
I see.
who is it?
Gray.
Gray or Greg?
Gray.
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 Okay. Well, welcome, Gray. Well, I don't know where I'm at on the DID spectrum either, Elizabeth.
Liz,
I
please, I really hate my given name.
oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't know. I didn't have time to introduce myself. Oh, I'm a language teacher. I teach English to foreigners all day long.
Okay. So how do you want to be referred to?
I'm Liz.
She prefers Liz.
Liz.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We talk on Skype as well.
Okay. I thought maybe I'd given out your name and you didn't want your name made public or whatever. But Liz,
No.
Liz, I'm down with Liz.
Mhm.
But anyway, as I was saying, I do have what I call inner children, and they want to be known as a federation now. Okay,
Yes, I have
so
inner children, inner personalities. Only some are not necessarily children per se,
right,
but we all work together. Look, we're not harming anyone.
yeah,
A psychologist, a therapist would probably diagnose me as either DDNOS1, which
okay,
is now uh, incorporated into DID, but the official label doesn't really matter, you know.
yeah,
The label is not as important as the human being, as the person.
Yeah.
exactly,
You know.
exactly,
So whether we have inner children, whether I'm crazy, it doesn't matter. Well, it does,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. It, you
hmm
know, all that matters is I'm somewhere on
All
the
that matters is
dissociative
who you are.
spectrum. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
um. But yeah. So okay, you are Marvin and the Federation. Is that it?
Well, we want to be known as a federation. We're not using that as a title, but the idea of a federation, which ties into our topic of freedom today, because the United States is a federation, and I love going back into the early history of my country, and we got together. Sorry, Anastasia, but we got together to declare our independence from
Gray.
Great Britain.
Gray.
Gray. Well, apologies to you, Gray, and to your fine country for. But anyway, we felt like we were able to take care of ourselves, so we broke away and in the very first line of our declaration, it says the United States of America, and something about being unanimous or whatever.
Yeah, we the people
But
unanimous. We the people. It's the preamble to the U.S. Constitution. By the way, aren't you
right,
in Texas too?
yeah, I'm in Texas, and we kind of think of ourselves as being semi-independent.
Oh shit, yeah, we're real independent. Okay, where, like, what part of Texas?
I am north of Houston, and
Yeah, me too.
Aren't you from
well,
Magnolia? Aren't you from Magnolia?
yeah, Magnolia, Montgomery County, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just actually, I think it'd be considered northwest of Houston. If you
Yeah.
ever gone to if you've ever gone to the Renaissance Festival that they have every fall,
Mhm.
you probably come within 10 or 15 miles of my house. But but anyway, so
I'm in Pope County. I'm in Alaska.
oh, okay, now that is close to Livingston, right?
Yes, I am 13 miles from Livingston.
Okay, don't give out your address
No, 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 no.
because we don't want anyone to come knocking on your door. But
No.
God, no.
but my family had a lake house on not well, I shouldn't say lake house, a condo,
Yeah.
a modest condo on Lake Livingston. And I forget the Waterwood. Did you ever drive through Waterwood?
I don't know. I'm not
Well,
originally from here. I moved here.
okay. But
Um.
anyway, the road that goes from Huntsville to Livingston, there's a road that shoots off, and it's
Oh
called
yeah.
the Waterwood, and it was going to be a fantastic development, kind of like the Woodlands.
Uh-huh.
But the thing was, they had the oil bust in the 1980s, and so they went kind of bankrupt.
Uh-oh.
And well, I mean, it's good and bad. My family was able to purchase condo for pennies on the dollar or whatever, and we would go up there and just you know do some fishing. There really wasn't. You can only pick up one TV station. Welcome, welcome, Caddy.
Yeah.
You can only pick up one station. Now, I think I may have to unmute you, or did you mute yourself?
Kai, I know her, Kai.
Okay, well, I think she can unmute herself, or if I have muted you by accident, just post on the site. Just post on the side over here, and I'll unmute you. I'm sure you're aware, we've had to establish some protocols to protect the Hangouts or whatever. So,
Okay, yeah. What are the protocols? But I wondered where you were from because I know Texas when I hear it. You hear that?
yeah. Well, actually, what you're probably hearing a little bit of Tennessee and a little bit of Georgia,
Yo.
because the first 15 years of my life, I was raised in Tennessee, and then I moved to Georgia for about I got muted. Okay, then I have to do it. Okay, hold on a second here.
Yeah.
Okay,
I lived in Tennessee for a minute too. So.
this is going to take me a second. Okay, I'm going to remove that, and then hopefully you'll be unmuted. So, okay. Well, now, okay, here. Well, gosh, what have I done? I'm trying to.
Oh, spot.
Yeah, but no, I wondered, where you were. Yeah, it seems like we're in the same geographical region.
Yeah, okay.
Why? Okay, so what protocols do we have in place now?
Can you hear me?
Well, I've accidentally muted some. Oh, good. I'm glad you're unmuted. Okay.
Yay!
I had
Yay.
muted Patty. See, and that's going to be the thing when new people come in. When new people come in, they're going to have to be muted. They're going to be on probation. They're going to be on double secret probation until we can figure them out. Then we can unmute them. But hopefully, if the trolls are watching this, trolls don't like to fish where there's no fish. So they're not going to get anything from us today. So, and hopefully I can get the word out. I'm a member of the paranormal community, and they've just wreaked havoc or whatever. And there's a guy who does transgender hangouts almost every day. He has been. But Caddy's not bad. She's ooh, Caddy is awesome. Okay, but so I mean they've wreaked havoc all over, and most of us are new to moderating these hangouts or whatever, and so
we're going to try and start one as well. So these
Okay.
protocols are really, really useful.
Yeah,
A protocol might also be like, okay, if you know, like, knowing each other, because there is a dissociative community, and there's also,
yeah. But what I recommend is just you can have a hangout and have it be private or whatever, and get 2 or 3 of your buddies, and then you're gonna have to play with it for a half hour. It's the best thing I can describe it. You're gonna have to put your cursor over someone's face, and when you do that, it'll show you. You can show them in broadcast. You can present to everybody. You can look at their profile. You can eject them, or you can mute them or whatever. And then you're gonna have to go up to the top of the screen where it says, you can invite people, mute people, or whatever. And then you're gonna have to go to the left-hand side of the screen, and where you can check the chat, and then the screen share, and then the next thing is the capture, which we really don't need to worry about, and then the cameraman, and then the control room, which allows you to control people's volumes or whatever. So I think if someone came in here and they were making a fuss, I could lower the volume to 0. And as a matter of fact, I was in a hangout not too long ago where there was no volume in the hangout, but you went to the YouTube channel, you could hear everybody. And I'm like, how does that happen?
Yeah, we used to practice. I used to moderate for another I used to moderate for a chat line, and that's what we used to do is when new moderators would come in, and we would practice using moderator controls, so things like kicking people out of the room, blocking people, so that we would know how to do it if we actually really did get a weird caller or something, you know.
Yeah. And so you're just going to have to play with it, and it may take you an hour to figure it all out or whatever, but that hour is actually an investment on the time you're going to save down the line or whatever, because we've been doing this for over a half hour, and we've had a pleasant time or whatever, and I'm not pulling out my hair.
Yeah.
But
trying to figure out how the hell to control who's in here.
Yeah, it's like herding cats or whatever. Now, one thing you can do is you can make it public on Google Plus and not have it public on YouTube or whatever. Mm-hmm. So then someone would have to ask you, and then you'd have to get them over to Google Plus or whatever. But I don't know. We really shouldn't be having to do all of this stuff. And hopefully the Google people are getting an earful. Are getting a lot of people reported or whatever, and they'll come out with some new protocols. I'd like to be able to suspend somebody for 24 hours, Yeah. And then that way, if it was a mistake, because some people get banned by mistake or whatever, I mean, I had to go through that video, and I couldn't remember who had said what, but if I had just willy-nilly started banning people, I would have banned some of my friends.
Yeah.
I would, But when you save it and all the comments are saved, you can go back through. And also I went through, I shouldn't admit this, but I went through and I listened to it again or whatever, just to make doubly sure, And then of course I deleted it, and it's gone from me. So that's going back to our topic of freedom. We have to fight to defend our freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamal, I wish you well in your endeavor. I know you're experiencing the freedom of becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Which is something
well done for that.
Oh, thank you.
It's something that I aspire to, and it starts with 1 or 2 classes, and then the next thing you know, you're renting a room. The next thing you know, you've got a big enough clientele to buy a studio. The next thing you know, you're hiring your own instructors, and you become a manager who doesn't get to dance anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh
Yeah.
man, oh man. But I wish you well in that. I think that's fantastic because if if you're working for yourself, oh gosh, we love fireworks. Let them. But now in my county, just a
Yeah.
PSA. In my county, fireworks are illegal.
Hell yeah, they are.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, but we've had so much rain this year. Normally, in Texas, it gets very dry in June and July, and so we have all these burn bans and fire bans and everything. But we've got so much rain this year.
Man, I've never seen so much.
Me neither. Me neither.
Man.
The temperature's
And
low too.
yeah, and the other thing is, get ready because they're predicting even more rain this fall. They're not
Oh
saying
my God.
they're not saying we're going to get a hurricane, but we're in El Nino, the little boy, and which means that there's going to be yeah means there's going to be lots of moisture coming in from I guess the Pacific or whatever, and it'll make its way to Texas and probably Oklahoma. Panda says no more rain. Panda, if I got to put up with the rain, you got to put up with the rain.
Well,
So
yeah.
we're in this together, partner. Oh man, this is so much nicer than last week. So
Oh yeah.
this is so much nicer than last week. Oh. Caddy says rain sucks for us. We have titanium in our arm. You know, my grandmother, she could
Oh,
predict,
that does suck.
Yeah.
my grandmother could predict the rain because she had bursitis in her shoulder, and sure enough, about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she'd say it's going to rain this afternoon, and within 2 or 3 hours, it would.
Yeah, my dad's the same way. He has a hip replacement, and then he has like rods and stuff. And I swear to God, he can predict the rain within 1 day of it happening, if
Yeah,
not
yeah,
closer. He knows it's fixing to rain.
yeah. I think that has to do with the barometric pressure or whatever, and it affects the joints. Panda says, Texas, why do you hate us? And you know, you're next door. You're next door. We have to pick on somebody. You know, when I lived in Georgia, we always used to pick on Alabama
Oh, yeah.
because in
That's like I live in Lancashire, right? And we always pick on Yorkshire.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of history there, but
Yeah.
when I lived in Georgia, we'd always pick on Alabama because Georgia would be like number 49 when it comes to anything, you know, education, healthcare. We'd always be 49, and Alabama would always be 50. So we'd always say thank God for Alabama because if it weren't for Alabama, we'd be last.
We'd be the worst ones that day.
Yeah.
And so we kind of have the same deal going. I think we pick on Arkansas more than we do Oklahoma. You know, but,
Oh God, yes. Yeah, Arkansas, yeah.
mhm.
I don't know. Oklahoma, you know, they do have the song about Oklahoma, so
I'm just checking. Okay, Mr. McBlues, I guess he was a troll because he didn't come in. He didn't take my invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can say that we've potentially eliminated one troll today. So I'm glad for
Yay.
that. I want to get the word out, and as you guys go to other Hangouts and talk to other people that run Hangouts, let them know. Let them know that there are videos on YouTube on how to run a Google Hangout. You have to dig for them, you know, but they're there if you search for them, and you can check these protocols or whatever. And I think that's why we were attacked so harshly, was because, you know, they knew we didn't know what we were doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know. So here's a couple of people, and they don't really know what they're doing. So boom, we're going into it. And I swear to God, I've got a friend. Well, he's not really a friend, but he's an internet buddy. I'll call him
internet
that.
friend, yeah.
There you go. We have live friends, and then we have people that are still alive, but we only know them.
Who?
Welcome, Blue.
Oh.
Welcome, Blue. We're having a better time than we had last week or whatever. But anyway, he's like, it's like I was invaded. Dale Channel, who's a really sweet guy, and I just recommend that
Yeah.
you go watch him.
Yeah.
He has
Check him out.
he has a big heart, and
Mhm.
his hangouts are for people that have social anxiety, and there's no pressure. You can go
Hell yeah, I should sign myself right up. Huh.
and you can go there and just hang out or whatever, and he doesn't force anybody to speak or whatever. So it's but anyway, it's like I've been invaded. So he's still trying to figure this out too. So but here's the deal: we are going to figure this out, okay? Because we're
Yeah.
smarter than trolls. I remember one
Huh.
time we raised chickens when I was a little kid, and every once in a while one of them would be smart enough to figure out how to get out of the chicken pen or whatever, or the coop, and it was my job to go and collect the chicken and put the chicken back into the coop or whatever. And so one day I was chasing the chicken all over the yard, and my mother came out of the kitchen and stood on the back porch, and she said, "Scotty, I know you're smarter than that chicken." So eventually I did catch the chicken and put it back in the coop or whatever. So I know we're smarter than these trolls. So we're gonna figure this out. So oh man, did anybody go to Joy's hangout yesterday evening?
I didn't go.
I had been invited, but well, it was too late for the folks in the UK. But I had been. We like littles. Ours was out being crazy little nuts too. Well, it was kind of fun last week, Blue. It was kind of fun because I was ejecting and Blue was muting, and it was like we were playing a video game or something or
Hey,
whatever.
no!
I had to leave last week. Ugh.
Yeah, perfectly understandable, and quite frankly, I should have asked everybody to leave except for me and Blue, and then we could have gone, mano a mano with the trolls.
Yeah.
But what they did was they have multiple accounts, and it was like a gang. I mean, there was like
Oh.
I think I counted like 4 distinct personalities, Uh, but anyway, they've been blocked and reported and flagged and everything that I could do, I've done. So
We're
but
good.
anyway, Joy had a hangout last night. I had been invited to another hangout, and then I got his invitation. So I went to the first one that I wanted to honor the first invitation that I got. So I went to that hangout or whatever. But I understand he's back home, and he seems to be doing okay. And
He's back home?
Yeah. He needed a break. Sometimes you just need a break,
Ah,
Who is this person? He obviously runs another hangout, but
Yeah.
Joey.
Gosh, I can't remember how to pronounce his last name or whatever. And he may join us later on.
Yeah.
He typically he sleeps in. But anyway, he's a great guy, and
Joey Trantos Jr.
there you go. And he's got lots of great videos. This guy speaks from his heart,
Yeah.
He speaks from his heart to his detriment sometimes.
oh shit. What's okay? What type of hangouts does he run?
DID Hangout.
DID, and there again, he doesn't really have a topic. Sometimes he has a guest, and then sometimes it's just a hangout to talk about what's been going on in the week or whatever. So anyway, he went to Minnesota for a break, and which he needed.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's back home, and he had said he wasn't going to do any more hangouts, and I kind of know, knowing him, I kind of know, if there's a computer in the house, he's going to find it, and he's going to do a hangout. So, but and I think he's going to try to do one a week. I don't want to put words into the old boy's mouth, but I think he's going to try to do one week. And I know Jessica and Jamie, I think, are still trying to do hangouts maybe twice a month or something like that. They both have families and stuff, and are doing things, school and
Speaking of
work.
which, Jamie and Jessica, well, Jamie hasn't invited me to any of hers twice a month.
Well, I'm trying to remember when the last one of hers was, and
Yeah.
obviously she hasn't had one this month or whatever.
Oh.
But there again, I think her last hangout was probably later in the day. So,
Yeah.
because she's only an hour difference from me.
Oh, it was that one about miners and that and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't get to go.
Which was some good information. So far we've had two professionals tell us that Google says we can have minors in our Hangouts, and so we're going to have minors in our Hangouts. There's not very much legal liability for
No.
us.
Mm-hmm.
I think the liability would fall on Google or whatever.
Yeah.
But there again, we're going to play it safe, and I said it earlier in the broadcast, or I'll say it again. We don't do therapy. None of us have a license to do therapy, and so
Nope.
if you're bleeding emotional blood on the floor of your house right now, I love to help you, but I'm not capable of doing that, and so I just would urge everybody to be aware of. I want to say 911, but I know it's not 911 in every country, but I mean, you're on the internet, and there are resources on the internet that you can look up and find, and so if you're feeling really bad and need to talk to a therapist, you can do that online. So, and but I wish I could do that, but I don't have the resources. If someone were to have a meltdown, I couldn't even call 911 for any of you guys because I don't know where any of you guys live or whatever. So, but in terms of healing, I think these hangouts are self-healing because I always feel better. I always feel better hearing that someone has gone down the same road that I'm going down or whatever, and so they're healing in that sense or whatever. But as far as doing one-on-one therapy, I will share another story with you guys. I do something called EFT, and I'm involved it stands for emotional freedom. There's that word again, emotional freedom technique or whatever, and it has to do with tapping on your uh, meridians and anyway, it can be therapeutic, and so this lady's been doing it over Skype, and she got someone that was really depressed, had tons of stuff going on, and she couldn't handle this person. And so she had to say, send out a call to all the other people in the group and say, can you help me with this person or whatever. And we do have in our group someone that has a counseling, a master's degree in counseling. So she was able to get onto the call. I guess it was a Skype call. So she was able to get onto the call and actually help this person or whatever. So I am very leery about doing therapy online because there's things out there, and for our community, anybody who's had DID has had a trauma. You may not be able to recall that trauma, but anyone who's had DID has had a trauma somewhere in their life. That's how DID starts.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I think online therapy can be a good thing, but
yeah.
And I preface this with one hell of a but. Okay. They have to be a certified, a credentialed therapist. It's the same thing with a lot of people think that what I do professionally, a lot of people consider it a very dubious profession. They think that because I teach online that it's not real. And in a lot of ways, yes, there are issues with that. For example, a lot of times they don't check the credentials. I happen to be a credentialed teacher, but there are those among us who are not. But yes, it's the same thing with online therapy. I would be willing to do online therapy, provided I verified their credentials. And plus, I firmly believe you have to be able, like, okay, if you do a Skype call with them or whatever, you have to be on video so that the therapist can actually see you and provide adequate attention and adequate
Yeah,
care. You see what I'm saying? It would more closely mimic the offline relationship.
yeah. There was a law passed here in Texas. I'm not sure if maybe it's gone into effect or it's about to go into effect. But anyway, they do. Doctors will have a patient say, I'm in Dallas and I've got a patient in Tyler. Well, I've got a video link or whatever.
Hmm.
And what the state of Texas has decided was that the doctor can still be in Dallas and the patient can still be in Tyler, but there's got to be a nurse with that patient in order for the doctor to be able to make a diagnosis or whatever. So
Okay.
I think therapy uh, online can be done, but you've got to have some rules in place.
Oh yes, you do, and it's the same with online teaching.
Oh yeah,
Before I was certified, um, I saw a lot of people that could pass themselves off not just as a tutor but as a teacher because there was no ability to check. There is no database of online educators in the state, better yet, in the nation. And so I agree, there must be rules not only for online educators but for online therapists. Because for a while I
Yeah.
thought about learning. Someone
yeah,
thought about learning hypnotherapy, like learning, how to, because for a while we weren't sure what we're gonna go into, whether teaching or therapy or what, um, and so we looked into, what are the laws, what are this, what can we do, but no, there should absolutely be laws about therapy, about any sort of therapy, not just psychological therapy, but like any hypnotherapy, um, any online teaching, anything at all like that. There should be um, a way to verify, so that Joe Blow from down the road can't just say they're a therapist this week. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I know there are sites like Angie's List and some other sites where you can check on a person's educational, but there again, that's not 100% foolproof. I do want to say that I'm a big fan of online teaching, but the problem with online teaching is people tend to fall away. And so what I'd like to see happen is all of these colleges and universities and vocational schools, I like to see them put their stuff online. But once a week, you have to actually go to a physical class. That's what I like to
Mm-hmm.
see. And then if that were to happen, the University of Texas, they could triple the number of students they have. They could
Mm-hmm.
overnight. Rather than go to class 3 or 4 days a week, you go one day a week or whatever. Check in with your professor, maybe take a test or whatever, and then the other 4 days a week, you're working, you're doing stuff, you're doing your lessons online or whatever. But some people are not motivated.
Yes, there's going to be motivational problems whether you're online or offline. But I do
Yeah.
agree. But there should also be there should be not only check-ins, but there should be a database for people who are not only for people who aren't legit, but for the people who lose their certification or who drop away, whatever. Not just for the students, but for the educators as well.
Yeah.
Because it's real popular in China. I have a large population of people from China.
hmm
Um, but my
Well,
thing is, I usually teach adults, but it is possible to teach children too.
hmm yeah. Well, I would imagine adults are. Well, I had a professor when I was in college, and he said he preferred teaching adults rather than teaching
Yeah.
kids 18, 19 years old because the adult realizes how important the education is, and I would imagine the folks in China, you know, 50% of the traffic on the internet right now is English.
Hmm.
Or whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but that's the way we're going. So we're gonna, and I think probably in 50 or 100 years, everybody will know how to speak three languages. They'll know how to speak their language, they'll know how to speak English, and they'll know how to speak another language.
Yeah, I think it's really sad, at least for us in the United States. Um, it's very sad that so many people don't realize the importance of learning another
Yeah.
language. I learned English and Spanish, so and I speak Spanish at a conversational level. I can converse. Some of my students do not speak English well enough to communicate, so I must give, for example, grammar explanations in Spanish.
See, I learned English, French.
Yeah. Panda is learning Japanese, which I think I also think is an important language.
Oh yeah.
But, I can pretty much read French. I knew some French people, but they knew English better than I did, you know,
Yeah.
which kind of tells you about our educational system. And Spanish, I've tried to pick up. We are blessed in Texas to have so many Spanish radio and TV stations. So every now and then I'll listen to a newscast in Spanish or whatever, and I can understand it, but I'm not fluent enough to where I can actually have a conversation with somebody, you know, beyond hey, how's it going, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. But I think that'll happen. There again, the resources. You know, you've got sites that will translate for you for free or whatever. I think there's even Skype is doing something with translations
Yeah, Skype
too.
has a real time. Hey, are you blind?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh no, I'm not blind. We do have one visually impaired person, and that's Gray or.
Well, you have another one.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I wasn't sure. But I was going to tell you, there's an app. It's not necessarily for blind people. It's called Duolingo.
okay.
Cool.
But it's really, really accessible for the blind. So.
Is it?
Yes. And they have a Chinese course.
Okay.
It's for free, by the way. It's not gonna cost you any money.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good to know. But see, there again, we're getting more and more resources, and they're becoming more available, and there's either low cost or no cost or whatever. And I have a little niece. She's about to be a junior in high school, and I'm so excited for her because she has so many resources that I didn't have. When I graduated in 1983 from high school, and it's day and night. The changes that have happened in the last 30 years, it's day and night.
Mm-hmm.
My French teacher, by the way, was from Texas, and she spoke French with a Texas accent, so.
Mine was too, by the way. I studied French. Officially, I studied Spanish and French, and then when I got into college, or that's university for you people across the pond. When I got into university, I took the placement test for both Spanish and French, and tested into the college B1, which is the first intermediate course that you can get. I tested out of the first year of Spanish and the first year of French.
Mhm.
So I learned both.
The only thing I could have gotten out of when I went to college was AP. I had taken AP English my senior year in high school or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but I had heard how tough it was to get good grades in college that I took all the English that I could take because those were like automatic A's, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, we tested out of English too, out of AP English.
I took business French, so and I took.
There you go.
And I got the equivalent of an A. I got a BTEC level 3.
Yeah. Speaking of things in business and in Europe, what are y'all going to do with Greece? I mean, that is a pickle, is it not?
Oh man.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with Greece? Yeah.
I don't know.
And then what are we going to do with Puerto Rico?
Oh yeah, that's true. What the hell are we gonna do with Puerto Rico? There's French. There's regular, formal French, and then there's what we all in the Golden Triangle area called Kunas French. Cajun French.
My brother-in-law's from Louisiana, and they taught the true French in elementary school for at least a couple of grades or whatever. So and he still remembers some of it. So.
Yeah. But yeah, what all are we gonna do with Puerto Rico? Yeah, and then I did my own. Speaking of entrepreneurship and freedom, I did my own. I had my own business for a while. I did. First, I sold Avon. I discovered. Well, I had some difficulties adjusting to the college experience. So I sold Avon for a while. And then I discovered that I could not only teach that I could teach classes privately. So I have a business account where I can do either online freelance writing or I can do online teaching. Like okay, not through a company, but like my own private
Cool.
students. So yeah, I'm a big fan of entrepreneurship. I'm also a big fan of Hadley School for the Blind courses.
I did something like that with Hadley School for the Blind.
Did you? You took Hadley courses?
I didn't complete them because I was ill, but yeah.
I just happened to glance over on the YouTube side, and we have someone talking French in the chat on the YouTube side. It says, "Salut, comment ça va? Je voudrais bien parler en français avec vous," which I think he says I would love to speak French with you or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
He's saying, "Hello, how are you? I'd love to speak French with you." Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, but that's probably about as much as I can do. So,
Yeah.
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 Oh gosh.
Who is it?
His name is Tulkas, Tulkas, Mgtow, which is a man going his own way, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, he says he can go with English or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Tulkas. I'm glad you're with us, and
I speak more English than French. Salut! Je parle un peu de français seulement. Ça va?
there you go. And I've posted a link, so if you want to come in to the Hangout, I think you can get into that link that I've posted in the description bank or box or whatever, and you sound like a good guy. So if you do want to come in and visit with us, we got a couple of spaces open. So.
Est-ce que vous allez visiter le Hangout? Would you like to visit the Hangout?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everybody speak French. Okay. J'ai faim.
Hungry.
Yeah, I used to. That's one of the few phrases that I can actually recall because we had lunch third period, and third period was when I had French. And before she would dismiss us to go to lunch, we'd always have to say that or whatever, you know. And but she was a great teacher. I had her for a year and a half, and then we moved to Georgia, and then I got an old school teacher who didn't want us to speak French. Mrs. Taylor, she wanted us to be able to hold a conversation in French because she thought we might go to Canada or Haiti or someplace and where French was spoken, and so she wanted us to. But Mr. Batson, Lucien Batson, I will never forget this guy. This guy was like 65 years old. He looked like he was 85 years old or whatever. But we had to translate.
God.
He was old school, and we had to translate everything out of the book and turn it into him, and he'd go through these. I guess that's how he spent his weekends, was reading our translations or whatever. And I almost failed in that class because I could not keep up with the translations. So, okay. Okay, Panda says he can speak Seminole and some Japanese. So.
Cool.
Okay.
Salut!
Kane speaks German, Kitsuna speaks Japanese. I'm learning Latin.
Okay, who speaks German?
Kane.
Okay.
Or kinda. Depends on pronunciation. We call him Kane, so.
Okay. Cool.
My sister took Latin for 1 year, and then she switched over to Spanish for the last 3 years of high school, and the Latin really helped her with her Spanish or whatever. So,
yeah, because
Latin and Spanish are very close.
Yeah. As is French. So,
they have a lot of the same root words. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I've been told that folks in South America, like if you live in Peru and you hear somebody from Brazil, you can understand what they're saying, but you can't talk back to them because Portuguese and Spanish are so close to each other.
Yeah, you can understand enough to get the gist. You can't exactly communicate, and sometimes there's miscommunication between you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can get the gist.
Okay.
And you have to have them. Sometimes you have to ask them to slow down. But if they figure out that you speak Spanish, they will work with you. Okay.
Okay.
And they will tolerate your miscommunication. Like, okay, because I have sometimes I've had Brazilian learners, and when they find out I speak Spanish, they're like, oh, So there are some differences, but we can communicate.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with Italians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try to keep up my studies in French and English and Spanish or whatever, but beyond that, don't expect me to learn anything new.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you all
No.
like learning languages, or have you divided up the language learning, or what?
Well, I officially took
We're
French.
getting some feedback.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out who the feedback's coming from. I can't tell or whatever. When they hang
I'm on a
out,
headset.
okay, I think most of us are on headsets or whatever, but normally it'll show me where the feedback is, and I'm not seeing anything, so it may just be something inherent or whatever. If it gets any worse, what we'll have to do, we'll have to mute ourselves unless we're speaking, which will slow
Yeah.
the conversation. It'll slow the conversation down, but I mean, we'll be able to hear each other, so let's see if it's going to get any worse. But I started to say I have taken officially I've taken French 2 years in high school when I was a freshman and a sophomore, and then when I got into okay, that sounds a little bit better. But anyway, and when I got into college, my major was such that I didn't have to take a full language. So, but the French came in handy because I had to translate some French history books. And I made some really rough translations uh, of French history books so that I could write a paper or whatever.
Is that
So,
Elizabeth's phone I can hear?
My Mac.
Or your Mac?
okay. Well, it seems to be okay now.
Yeah.
So, okay, but the thing about it is when we get so many people in this Hangout, there's going to be a little bit of what I call a snafu or whatever, and that's the clinkiness of Google.
Yeah.
I was in a Hangout last night, like I was saying, and the poor person couldn't get her live feed going or whatever. But she had a classroom full of people. We were studying about metaphysics, New Thought principles or whatever. So she had a classroom full. So she went on and she taught.
Shit. So she had the
And
class
then-
and couldn't get it.
And then you know what she did?
What?
After the broadcast was over, she went back and redid it so that there'd be a record of it on YouTube or whatever. She's a very, very sweet lady. Her name is I like metaphysics. I like to study every kind of spirituality I can get my hand
Oh
on.
hell
Yeah.
yeah! Some of us do too. A lot of us like spirituality. We were Mormons for a long time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a great appreciation for the Mormon Church, but I could never be a Mormon because of their stance about women.
Damn
Yeah.
it! Thank you. That's exactly I don't know. Sometimes I have a great appreciation, and then sometimes I really They encourage really. There are some things that they teach that are real practical. For example, they teach about emergency preparation. They're
And
really
food
good about
storage.
that. And food storage. That's next. But a lot of it is kind of tainted because they teach you things. It's related to preparing for the last days, the end of
Yeah.
the world, that type of thing. So, but yes, these are good things to know, even now, But yes, after I left the Mormons for the first time, I began studying different religions because, well, if you don't subscribe to the one true faith, where the hell, what do you believe? And I thought the only way to find out was to explore. You might like which school?
Well, I study everything. Right now, I'm going back through some Buddhist teachings and some Taoist teachings. I've taken up Qigong, which is kind of like Tai Chi.
Yeah, but it's it's different. There's more.
Yeah. I just want to catch up with our friend from he's from London,
Mhm.
Tulkas, and he says I have a very strong Spanish accent. I live in London, but I'm happy to listen to you. And he says thank you. So I'm glad you joined us, Tulkas, or whatever. And so you obviously you speak Spanish, English, and French. So man, I admire that. So and that's the nice thing about being in Europe is that I mean, you go 100 miles and you're in a different country. So
Yeah.
yeah, but and the thing about qigong, it's really frightening because I'm doing simple warm-up exercises for 5 minutes every morning, and I feel 100 times better. I,
Mhm.
I have I have better feeling in my fingers and my toes or whatever. I'm more clear-minded. I have energy throughout the whole day,
Mhm.
and it's like it's too good to be true. And I think part of that is because I hadn't really exercised. I'll be 50 this year. I hadn't really exercised, so any exercise that I did was going to be great or whatever. So, but I want to
It,
do some
it
more.
and it enforces the body and the mind connection.
Yeah.
And yeah, which school has some general, like, okay, metaphysics courses. They are, but a lot of it is Wiccan oriented.
Yeah.
Um, but they do have, okay, herbs, for example. They have some herbs courses.
Hmm.
Oh, they have a basic psychic skills course. They have a
Hmm.
course on the druids.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not
and
looking at their course catalog, so I can't.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
are you familiar with Raymond Buckland?
Oh yeah.
Okay, he was a male witch as well as a spiritualist because of his family or whatever. So
Yeah. He
yeah,
combined a lot of those teachings in his The Complete Book of Witchcraft. Yes.
yeah,
I.
and so he's still alive, I think, or whatever, and he
Mhm.
still goes to Chesterfield and I think Lilydale as well as the pagan events or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
And I
I
also, yeah, I studied that, and then some of Scott Cunningham's material,
yeah.
all kinds of stuff. No, I like. I don't think I could ever be a Gardnerian Wiccan. I don't think so. However, I do respect their views on ritual nudity.
Well, Gardner, he got a lot of his stuff from Aleister Crowley,
Yes, and
and
I've
and
studied
so
some of Aleister Crowley's material.
mm,
I've studied their his some of his material. I own his Book of the Law and
yeah,
his Thelemic teachings, some of his Thelemic teachings. Um, a lot of that though is twisted in RA though, unfortunately.
yeah. Well, I mean, he wrote with blinds in his writing or whatever to keep the uninitiated out or whatever. So
Yes, he did. Yes, a lot of
yeah.
people do that to keep the uninitiated from doing something, from using their teachings to, yes, to.
Well, certainly Madame Blavatsky
Madame
did.
Blavatsky did too. Yes,
Yeah.
I've
Uh,
read nearly all of her material, and she has wonderful material. But yes, she writes some of her messages are.
yeah.
Arcadian
Well,
fun.
if you like her, Alice Bailey is probably a little bit easier to read, but
Oh
there
yeah, I've
again,
read Alice Bailey too. These are new age thinkers.
yeah, but she wrote probably 10 times the amount of stuff that um, uh, Blavatsky wrote. Of course, this stuff came from the masters, and whether
These are
you
the
think
these are the ascended masters' teachings. Yes.
right. Whether you think it was channeled material or whether you think the masters actually had physical bodies, and some of Blavatsky's masters actually had physical bodies. Kutumi
Mhm.
is a name that comes up for me a lot, or whatever. I was a Rosicrucian, and he's a big factor there. I was a Theosophist. He's a big factor there. I became
Mhm.
involved with um, a group called Astera, which is out of California, and
That
it's
is the fucking. That's a combination of theosophy and the
yeah.
Rosicrucianism. Hey, you know what? And then I've read information on the Illuminati. Should I shut up? I'm done. We've been
No, no,
done
no,
for
no. If anybody, we're just old friends here. We're hanging out, we're chilling out, or whatever, and
I've never read any of this stuff, so I don't know what the
You guys know
heck
what
is
I'm
going
talking
on
about.
here. No, I don't know
well,
what the stuff you're talking
So you
about.
were involved with the Theosophical Society, TS?
yeah, I was a member for probably 3 or 4 years. I was actually Houston has a lodge. They actually have two lodges now, or whatever. But
Uh-huh.
I was the vice president of the old lodge for about a year, and then they were going to make me the president, and I had some personal problems or whatever, and so I kind of backed out of that or whatever. But I study everything,
Yeah,
and
I do.
and to anyone listening to us, uh, I want to quote Gandhi and also Mother Teresa. The quote is attributed to both of them. Their idea was not to convert people to their religion. Gandhi was a Hindu, Mother Teresa was Catholic, but their idea was to make you better in your religion. Okay, and that's the same way I feel. I'll share with you whatever you want me to share about or whatever, but my idea is not to convert anybody to my way of thinking, but to help you sharpen your thinking. So
Yeah, to have a thought to think for yourself. I
yeah.
believe. I don't know. I'll have to contact you privately and show you the I have a bunch of Illuminati
Okay. Well,
information. I'll have to show you.
I just made you a mental health buddy, so you're in my circle now. So
Oh, okay. But yeah, I believe some of these things can be useful, and some are, you know what I'm saying? People can twist anything,
oh yeah,
in any group, including Rosicrucianism, including the Illuminists, including anything. People can twist
Oh
anything
yeah,
to
people
their.
can twist information to their own
yeah.
advantage.
Mhm.
Well, the problem with religion is that people will hijack religion and they'll use religion as an excuse to attack somebody else, and
Oh
we
yeah.
don't need to go down. We don't need to go down the line, but it's being done even today or whatever. So
Exactly. So, and then there are
People use it as an excuse to hurt people.
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And this
exactly.
is this is to my mind, this is the crux of RA, that in
Hmm.
Yeah.
control in a lot of
Oh crap.
in
Hello.
a lot of
It's Christian.
Hello.
Okay, how's it going?
Kind of not good.
Kind
Uh,
of not good. Oh yeah, did you
Yeah.
did you
guys want to
take
talk
your
about?
medicine?
Oh, is it 9
Did you take?
o'clock?
It's past 9 o'clock, buddy. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. It's about 20 minutes after 9. So do you need to take a little break for your medicine?
Holy stuff, I forgot to take my medication.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, but you're only like 20 minutes late, so hopefully it won't be that bad.
By
Uh,
the way, did you guys want to talk about you know?
well, we were talking about freedom, and I think we've come down to exercising our freedom, the freedom to share our thoughts or whatever. And you always have that. You always have freedom of thought. I mean, um, Viktor Frankl, the great psychologist who was a victim of the Holocaust. He was in a concentration camp or whatever. And his thing was, you can find meaning in whatever experience you're going through, and the basis of that meaning is what you make out of it, your thoughts or whatever.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so,
So,
so
I wondered if they wanted to talk about something specific.
Um, we had a bit of an incident this week. We were removed from quite a lot of groups,
yeah.
and it really, really patronised us.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
And it made us feel really, really bad. And I'm not mentioning names because I don't want to
no, you'll just make it
inflict any.
worse.
I don't want to make it worse for anybody. But the person removed us because they accused us of something we didn't do.
Well, I've had that happen to me. So, and Liz, I've added you to the list of people that I personally invite because I understand you're on a phone or whatever. And to get you into our Hangouts, I'll have to invite you directly, I should say. So,
Okay.
so I've got that covered. So I'm happy to do the little extra things, so to accommodate people.
Yes.
So,
You know me. I'm not a pro, man.
yeah.
But yes, you have to be sure. You can't take risks of it. I can do it from my Mac, of course.
Okay. Well, just in case, generally what I do is I open the Hangouts and I send out an invitation to my mental health buddies. So you'll get one that way.
Oh, okay.
And,
What's
and then if I need to send you one directly, like I do Anastasia or whatever, then I'll do it that way too. So I mean, it's no problem or whatever. I actually got in trouble for sending someone an invitation at work, and they're like, I'm at work, stop sending the invitations. My phone keeps going off. So I'm happy to invite people. I'm happy to not invite people. Either way.
Yeah. No,
Uh-oh.
you use an iPhone or what do you use?
I have a laptop. I prefer laptops. They seem to work well for me or whatever. I hope they keep producing laptops. I understand that desktops may be going the way of the dinosaur. So, but I hope we can keep laptops around for a while. So.
Yeah, we've got a laptop. We switched to a Mac.
Yeah, we did
many
as
months
well.
ago.
We did.
About 6 months ago, actually. But it was worth it. I don't regret it. I think switching to a Mac was one of the best things I ever could have done.
Yeah.
But whether you're a Mac or Windows user, yes, I believe.
Okay.
I hate Windows. Oof.
Panda says he has a PC, and Blue says he has a desktop or whatever. I guess there'll always be a market for a desktop, and there'll always be a market for a laptop. I just prefer a laptop. I've had desktops, and I just prefer a laptop because I moved from my father's house to my house or whatever, so it's just easier to pick up the laptop. Okay. We are at the 90-minute mark or whatever, and I promise that. Well, very, very close. Very, very close. I know I've been on the air for 90 minutes or whatever. So I made a promise that I would take us private after 90 minutes. So we're going to lose the YouTube feed. So I want to thank all of our YouTube visitors for watching us and being a part of the program. And we'll be back Sunday night for part 2 of this discussion. And so at this point, I'm going to take us off live. So thanks for watching, everybody.